It's spread so much that even the White House and the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, are partaking in it. We are so cooked. People love art. They love music. They love films. They love TV shows. They love indulging and experiencing art every single day, but they don't give a shit about actual artists, about the people that actually make those things possible. This video has been weighing heavy on my heart for the past week. You've probably seen all of those Ghibli AI illustrations, if you can call them that, floating around on the internet. And if you haven't, I'm very jealous. I want whatever lifestyle you have. I also want to live under a rock, please. For those of you that are new here, my name is Sia, and I'm a storyboard artist working in the animation industry. I've worked on a bunch of different shows throughout my career, some of which you might recognize. And today I am making this video because I am pissed off about a lot of things. Before I get into the video, I want to plug two things real fast. First is my Discord community that I highly recommend joining if you're interested in learning art, animation, or storyboarding. I do weekly streams, and I also have personalized one-on-one mentorship options starting at just $20 a month. The second is my ADHD coaching program for artists. If you are an artist with ADHD, you probably struggle with a lot of things like getting your portfolio done, being able to focus, and stay consistent with your art goals. I have a 6-week ADHD coaching program that I've designed specifically for artists who struggle with executive dysfunction. If you're interested, the link is going to be in the description box down below. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, apparently introduced a new update where people can upload photos and have those converted into Ghibli-style images. It's kind of taken the internet by storm, and it's been very controversial for a lot of reasons that I'll get into. It all started when this guy uploaded a photo of him, his wife, and his dog to ChatGPT and asked it to spit out a Ghibli-style image. Now, I'm not sure if he meant any harm by it, at least not intentionally, but it's unleashed this entire trend of people doing the same thing with their own family photos and other images. Most of the people partaking in this trend, I'm not even sure they know who Miyazaki is or if they even know what Studio Ghibli is. They probably just see a very recognizable anime style and they're like, oh, pretty image. That's it. It's effectively the same thing as a filter on Instagram or Snapchat. There's been a lot of debate about whether or not this is harmful and what this means for artists going forward. It's one thing to like take part in a harmless internet trend. If you're someone that doesn't know anything about art or animation or AI, maybe you think it's literally just that, a harmless internet trend. And I don't necessarily begrudge you for it because it's not possible for everyone to be educated on every issue all the time, right? I do think we need to make room for ignorance and have a good faith conversation there about what it really means. So most people might not mean anything bad by it, but it still begs the question, what does this mean for us as a society that this is even happening? There's been a horde of LinkedIn bros that have been unleashed. They think they're master filmmakers simply because they have spare cash and they know how to type in prompts, and they think that this man's life's work is now meaningless because they know how to type prompts. It's insane. Have these people watched any Ghibli movie ever? Like, do you not see the irony in destroying the environment by using a tool that is so heavy when it comes to resource use? Like, this man has spent his entire life making art about how humans are bad for nature. There is something so dark and so frustrating about watching this man's life's work get reduced to an internet trend by some tech bro that probably doesn't even care about art to begin with. It's insane. It's really insane. If Miyazaki's work is exploited like this, what hope do the rest of us have? Not to forget that OpenAI is actually profiting from this trend. I haven't used the feature, so I don't know, but I guess it gives you a certain number of images per day, and if you want more, you have to pay for it. They are actively profiting from taking Studio Ghibli's entire catalog, feeding it into their AI slot machine, and spitting it out to the rest of the world as a fun, cool new trend. It's spread so much that even the White House and the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, are partaking in it. I'm gonna throw up. I don't want to live in this world anymore. Have these people seen even a single Miyazaki movie? We all know he wouldn't approve of this. Miyazaki grew up in Japan during World War II. He has spent like, 6 decades making art about how war is bad and how humans are bad for destroying the environment for their own petty motives. And here we have the White House and the IDF partaking in a silly little internet trend because they think it's new and shiny. This is insane. We are so cooked. It's 2025. The human race has more information at its fingertips than ever possible before, and at the same time, media literacy is somehow dead. We've killed it. I'm editing and I just remembered that 20 years ago, Miyazaki boycotted the Oscars when he was nominated for Spirited Away because he was protesting the US's involvement in the Iraq War at the time. This man, not even like in his films alone, like he has made it abundantly clear through his actions what his stances on war are. I cannot imagine what it's like growing up as a little kid at the tail end of World War II in Japan, having to evacuate from one town to another, spending your entire life making art about how war is bad, and then being in his 80s, watching his life's work, his art style, his voice get reduced and commodified and flattened by some AI company, and then regurgitated by armies committing war crimes. That is insane to me. I cannot imagine what he must be feeling right now. Some legal experts do believe that Studio Ghibli might have the grounds for a lawsuit. Honestly, I hope they do. You and I both know there is no way in hell OpenAI got permission to train their model on Ghibli's entire catalog. Granted, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know if American copyright laws or Japanese copyright laws apply to this situation. I'm not sure how stringent they are in Japan. Maybe it's possible that OpenAI created a subsidiary in Japan and trained their model on Ghibli's catalog there to sidestep copyright laws. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. If you're a lawyer, please let me know in the comments what you think. Regardless of the legal nightmare, you know, it's just another example of corporations treating artists like a means to an end, exploiting their work with zero compensation. The animation industry has been in shambles for the past few years because studios love sacrificing us for the sake of profit. We work on projects that earn these studios billions of dollars only for us to be laid off at the end of them before we can get our bonuses. This whole trend and this whole controversy just shows me how much people actually love art, but they hate artists. They hate the people that make it. You're all out here reading books, listening to music, watching commercials, looking at posters. Art is everywhere around you, and you love it. Look at how fast this trend has caught on. Look at how many people are captivated by the idea that you can take a photo of your loved ones and turn it into a very iconic, very recognizable, and very beloved anime style. Look at how you're swooning over the end result. At the same time, you hate artists. You hate the people that actually make all of those things possible. And Miyazaki's not getting the brunt of this just because he's famous. This applies to everyone. This applies to every single artist. I see this hatred of artists every single day in my comment section. My last video, which was filmed before all of this happened, I coincidentally happened to mention Miyazaki and his work ethic. And we all love a good Miyazaki meme, so I included him in the thumbnail as well. For some reason, in classic internet fashion, people decided to get mad at me for that video. I've been accused of everything from being like a privileged American girl to being a Nepo baby, which is just wild, because I don't know how to break it to you guys, but trust fund kids aren't out here grinding away on YouTube trying to grow a small channel and making $300 a month in AdSense revenue. And as for nepotism, I would love to know who you think I'm related to, because being a Nepo baby is news to me. All of this outrage over an 8-minute video where I said that it's good for artists to take breaks. I never even called Miyazaki lazy. In fact, I mentioned the opposite. I mentioned that he's a workaholic who also happens to go on vacation sometimes, and how that's good for his creativity, and we can all learn from that. It's good to take breaks. It's especially crazy because I did include a disclaimer in the video about how even though it's important to take breaks, you don't get away from putting in those 10,000 hours that we all have to put in when it comes to our craft. So it's a crime, apparently, to tell artists that other really big creators take breaks, and they should too. YouTube comments are one thing. I'm used to them. But it says something else when people in my industry, people that are either professionals themselves or professional adjacent, are out here leaving comments about about how I must be sitting here in front of a camera making YouTube videos because I'm not a good artist. I know this section might come off as really petty because I'm focusing on hate comments that I've gotten, but honestly, the fact that I'm not even a big YouTuber and I still get so many hate comments on every single video as a channel of my size, I think says a lot about this disdain that people have for artists, big and small. It's especially telling when you go in any sort of AI, like pro AI community, there seems to be this disdain and resentment towards artists for whatever reason. Even if you look at all of my AI videos that don't even have that many views, the comment sections a lot of times are just flooded with people who are just salivating at the thought of replacing artists like me with this technology. And they don't seem to realize that the only reason these technologies are even able to do what they do is because they steal from artists like us. They always act as if these AI-generated images just appear out of thin air. They never acknowledge the humanity behind the work that they claim to appreciate. This whole rise of AI has made this anti-artist sentiment so prevalent and normalized and just accepted. It's honestly really scary for me. Clearly, if you enjoy generative AI, you enjoy art on some level, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be so passionate about it. So why is there such a refusal to respect the people who create art to begin with? AI aside, this whole lack of respect towards artists just seems to carry itself to every single corner of the internet. Even when it comes to advice content that's made in good faith, which is what I'm trying to do. It just really sucks that artists of all sizes, artists as big as Miyazaki, and even just normal people on the internet that are creating content are constantly under attack from not only big corporations, but also AI supporters in general. It's even infiltrated the art community itself, I feel. Not necessarily this pro-AI sentiment, but just this disdain and this refusal to respect artists. I see it all the time, instead of supporting their favorite artists, audiences are always shaming them and tearing them down over sponsorships or income streams, or even just trying to spread knowledge. I get attacked for sharing my Discord server and my ADHD coaching program in my videos, even though my videos aren't even sponsored and AdSense pays like shit. All of this infighting just makes it so much harder for artists of all sizes to be able to succeed, and it just really sucks because it really leaves us all vulnerable to the forces that are actually trying to take us down, all these big corporations that don't respect us. Even these online comments, even if they're from people in my industry, I can kind of let them slide because I don't know them. But it's really hard to do that when my real life experience does echo some of these sentiments. I have had my work and my experience devalued by some people that I've worked with, presumably because I look like this, I guess? I don't know. I have had producers call me all sorts of infantilizing terms in meetings because I had the audacity to ask for a fair wage. It's dark out here, guys. It sucks. People hate artists. People hate artists even if they're in proximity to them and work with them. People love art. They love music. They love films. They love TV shows. They love indulging and experiencing art every single day, but they don't give a shit about actual artists, about the people that actually make those things possible. I'm sick of watching artists pour their souls into their work, whether that's really heartfelt films that take years and years of labor or just a silly little YouTube video. I don't have a feel-good ending for this video. I don't have an it gets better speech for you. Are we living in the worst timeline? Is just the reality we're stuck in? Does Studio Ghibli have any legal recourse for all of this bullshit? I don't know. You tell me. All right, bye.